Hey ratbags, it's Jade with another 1.0 grounded video. This time we're taking a look at the MANT, the brand new boss that's been added to grounded. Is it the final boss? Is it Wendell? Kind of not. Massive spoilers obviously, and go and check out the rest of my 1.0 content. I've got so much lined up for you, so make sure you subscribe to see it all, got that notification bell dinged, and let's go. Okay, so deep in the bowels of the Undershed, a huge gauntlet where you go through multiple different areas, face off against Black Widow spiders, a whole host of other creatures. Eventually you'll make it to the Undershed lab. Of course, I will have more proper detailed guides for all of them areas. This is just the first look one today. Now, to be honest, I'm going to skip all the lab parts. I'm going to have that in a separate video in case you want to avoid most of the spoilers and just focus on the Mantis itself and experience the rest of the story. But before you can get to the MANT, you are going to have to take on a plethora of different types of creatures, bugs and more. There's going to be fire ants in here, as well as infected and baby orb weaver juniors. There will be a bed respawn point just like it is in taking on the assistant manager, and some resources that you can go and get, as well as a meal. But yeah, it's one of my bugbears with this whole entire gauntlet area. There's nowhere for you to put any base pieces down, so you can't really repair anything unless you brought glue with you. You really got to make sure you've got the right weapons and armor sets. You will be able to craft stuff because there is a crafting bench in this laboratory, but obviously it's still a bit limited. You won't be able to upgrade anything. Next section of the laboratory does have the infected larvae, as well as orb weaver juniors and red fire ants, all in this main room. I died more times trying to get through this particular laboratory than taking on the MANT itself. You'll make it into a next section of the laboratory with some more story detailing what's gone on, before flipping a switch that activates the doorway to take on the MANT. He'll be patrolling around in this very small tight arena, so it does make it quite a hard fight, although he's not as tough maybe as some of the other creatures. I found him actually the easiest out of taking on a Black Widow and obviously the Mantis so far. You basically end up dropping down into the laboratory, and here's a quick look at him. His weaknesses are stabbing as well as fresh and slashing. His resistances are explosive, salty and spicy. It's a tier 3 4 heart enemy. And yes, it is a creature inspired by the Minotaurs and Mindagods tabletop RPG. It's Wendell's maybe attempt to put his kind of mind inside something else for a while. He's got a whopping 45 units of health. I'm still not 100% sure exactly what that relates to. He'll take swipes at you usually with just one fist, and then he'll do a kind of 3 or 4 fist attack. They can be parried quite easily, so it's not the worst fight you'll come across. You can see I've already started to do a hell of a lot of damage with one of the new weapons, doing a ton of slashing damage. So any kind of sword, one-handed sword with fresh on it is going to be one of the best items. Now you can see it's got an infection at the top there as well, so eventually he will start letting off some explosions which do a huge amount. And you see the ground pound as well. Now I did defend it and it only took about a quarter of my health there. That would probably be about half if you haven't got the decent armor that I've got on, as well as obviously making sure I've got the perks that give me extra health. So the ground pound will push you away and stun you rather than do a huge amount of damage. He does have one particular punch like that can also stun you and make you down for 2 seconds, which could be a really bad thing in a while because he's going to start summoning some actual additional help. Red ant spider and a red ant soldier will eventually appear in different phases. You'll know you've made him angry as he'll pull a little cluster grenade from his back and lob it at you, and that's normally when the red ant spider will come and try and take advantage too. Goes without saying that you should focus on killing the red ant spider first. When you get him down to just past half health, it'll go through a second phase of summoning, and this is where the red ant soldier will appear. It'll also keep throwing them grenades, the infected ones, so you've got to look out for them too. So the mint mallet is obviously a good one here because it does extra damage, or anything with obviously mint or cool will do damage against the fire ants too. Now when I actually killed him, he didn't do the exploding attack. I don't think I gave him time, but you can see that it actually pops off 3 times, so it's pretty deadly if you're close enough when he does it. Also worth noting that on top of his grenades, he will also fire a kind of web sling at you that will slow you down and stun you as well. So if you're trying to take him on from range with bows and arrows, that's pretty much what he's going to do to combat that. You can see it's here. I'm just trying to get some healing items and then he'll throw it at you. I don't think he does that too much early stages, but maybe then again I wasn't hanging around that far away from him. But yeah, if you're any distance away later on in the fight, he's going to keep slinging that. In the end, I used a poisoned dagger to take him down, and that was pretty effective. It was pretty quick, using high stamina, and obviously he did try and summon another red ant before I'd got him. I got 1000 raw science from defeating him, and I got obviously the gold card because I peeped him first. His minions will also automatically die as soon as he is dead. Now there is a mutation that you can summon one of these guys to come and actually attack creatures for you. It's only momentarily, and I used it quite a few times with different creatures. I've got to say it's pretty weak. I really hope they give it a buff so it does more damage and does maybe faster attacks on a creature, because it just simply wasn't worth it for the energy it produced. And when it explodes you figure it might do some more damage or something, but no. Up against one of the spiderlings, it really didn't even manage to kill one of them. Obviously a tier 2 spiderling, so I know they're tougher. It takes about 4 or 5 hits with a decent weapon to kill one yourself, but you can see it only brought it down to nearly 3/4 of its health. And that's it. With it defeated, you are pretty much good to go and escape the laboratory, although there still may be a few little dangers. There's some more story to go through with Wendell, but I won't spoil that in this video. But there you go, that is the Mant and how to deal with him. Either go in there with fresh stuff, make sure you got a slashing weapon, or something with poison is equally as good, or just doing anything with critical hit bleed damage. You want armor and mutations that give you protection against explosions, and look out for his ranged attacks that will make you stunned. So much more coming, of course, and I will post maybe the spoiler video in the comment section down below so you can see the whole story and how to get to the next part. But he is not the final boss, although kind of. Anyway, until next time, ratbags, laters.